What Lab? What Lab is an art studio in East Vancouver, and it is hosting a gala called the Art Auction coming up this Friday and Saturday. So this is meant to raise funds for the art studio that is heavily reliant on grant funding. So they have a current fundraising goal of $15,000, and here to talk more about that is What Lab's artistic director, Jarin Schexnider. Hello, and thanks so much for coming in.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So what can you tell us about What Lab?
Yeah, so we are a warehouse studio space in East Vancouver and a nonprofit. We work on sort of a residency-based model where we give artists time in the studio to create new work, and then we present that work in whatever form or fashion it's in.
Okay, well, give me some examples.
Yeah, I make a point to really try to focus not just on one art form, but many. So we have dancers, theater makers, musicians, media artists, installation, performance art, anything that you can imagine. I try to make What Lab a home for those communities.
I see. Well, and speaking of making a home, I mean, you do make a point of providing space for BIPOC folk and members of the queer community. Why is that important for What Lab?
Yeah, I talk a lot in grants and things about What Lab making space for rough work. And what I mean by that, it's this idea, I came up in theater, and it's this idea from a Peter Brook, this theater director, theorist guy. Rough work is not polished, not pristine. It's immediate and messy, and you can feel the salt and the sweat and those sorts of things. And I think that that work is really important, and I think that that work is really clued in right now to queer voices and BIPOC voices. They're the ones that can tell those stories with immediacy and really mobilize for change and bring people together in a way that it's hard to come by for others.
Okay, well, it's interesting. You've been operating for 7 years now, and how challenging has it been to operate an independent art space in a city as expensive as Vancouver?
Yeah, it has its challenges, but we're not going to stop making art because it's spindly. We live in a spindly city. I think because of those challenges and those sort of financial hardships, it makes having spaces like this even more important, more accessible for different people to make their own work and have space to sort of come up and not face those systemic barriers that, more established spaces with, yes, higher budgets, but also more demands and more traditional mindsets cannot really afford.
Still, where does most of your funding come from?
Yeah. We rely pretty heavily on grants, like you said. It's also a rental space, so I have external renters who use it, which is amazing. What that does, it's so important for me, it makes What Lab's reach farther than anything I could do on my own. So I'm getting people coming in, even if it's a private practice, rehearsal, or they're mounting their own show, or other nonprofits use it to put their work on. It's broadening our network and our community. So we have those external renters, which helps, but does not pay all the bills. So we rely on grants. And currently, we only have project grants. We don't have any operational funding, which, an organization around for 7 years, on one hand, it seems like we should have that. And on the other hand, it feels so far away. Resources are so thin and spread out so thin that it feels like a real challenge to build sustainability for the organization.
Okay, which brings us around to your weekend fundraiser. So what have you got in store? Yeah,
so we are having the art auction. And it's a sort of a performance piece that I approached someone very much in the What Lab model, an artist I've worked with, Santi Henderson, in the past. And I said, I know the kind of work you do. I'm giving you an artist fee. I want you to put on a show. It's a fundraiser. Those are the parameters. Have at it. And what we have made, what Santi has made, is this amazing art auction where the community has really come together to provide physical works, visual arts works, but also performances that will happen, and people can bid on having this live performance happen for them. And it's a sort of satirical approach to these fancy highfalutin galas, what does it look like to have a gala in a warehouse in East Vancouver, right? That's sort of the model we're working with.
Okay, and tell me again about the dress code. I think that's really fun.
What did I put? It's
East Van
warehouse black tie.
Exactly.
No one turned away for lack of style.
Is that what are you going to wear?
Oh, well, I think I'm going to wear, I have this like white linen shirt that is very sort of flouncy and flowy, but I think as of today, going to be a performer for one of the performances, the micro performances. So my costume might get a little messy.
Which is all part of the evening. It sounds like it's kind of one of those just go with the flow kind of events.
Lots of surprises, lots of fun.
How do people get in touch with you or find out about tickets? Is it open to all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can find us on Instagram, What Lab. You can find us at our website, whatlab.ca. We're around.
Really nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a great weekend. I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
I hope you got some cameras there because it sounds like it's going to be visually very interesting.
It's going to be a wild night.
Okay. That is What Lab's artistic director, Jarin Schexnider. What Lab is hosting a fundraiser art auction this weekend, Friday, Saturday. Again, go to the website whatlab.ca to find out more.